Reynolds.
Thank you very much, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Veterans Affairs and the Minister assisting the Prime Minister for the wonderful Centenary of Anzac program, Senator Ronaldson. I refer the Minister to the government's commitment to honour and to capture the war service of Australian men and women. Can the Minister inform the Senate about preparations the government is making for commemoration of the August offensive and the Battle of Lone Pine in Turkey this August?
The Minister for Veterans Affairs, assisting the Prime Minister on the Centenary of Anzac, Senator Ronaldson.
Thank you, Mr President. Can I thank Senator Reynolds for the question and thank her for her service to this nation as well. In August 1915, the Anzac forces began what was, of course, called the August offensive, and was the last great push to remove the Turkish forces from Gallipoli, and it was probably the most fierce of our campaigns in Gallipoli, and the casualties were enormous. And as a result of that, the 7 Australians, Mr President, were awarded the Victoria Cross during that particular campaign. To honour the service of those men, on the 6th of August this year, there will be another major commemorative event at Lone Pine. It's the first of its type, Mr President, and the department are gearing up for that, as they geared up again as they did gear up for the Anzac Day services. And I want to place on record my deep and abiding thanks to the department and the department staff for the fantastic job that they did. This service will start at 5 o'clock on the 6th of August. And today I want to announce a free and non-compulsory registration scheme to enable those Australians wishing to attend the ceremony to register to receive information about the commemoration. This commemorative event will not be ticketed or balloted as the Anzac Day service was. There will be about 5,000 places for those who wish to attend the service. And today, Mr President, can I strongly encourage people who might be interested in going to register their interest in attending, to enable the government to provide them with the information necessary to ensure the appropriate conduct of the ceremony. Those who are attending, we encourage to be there by mid-afternoon to enable security and other screening.
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering the question has expired. Senator Reynolds, a supplementary question.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr President. Will the Minister further inform the Senate about the government's commitment to honouring the centenary of service and particularly the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. Again, I can thank Senator Reynolds. As the honourable senators will be aware, the Prime Minister and I announced that we will be returning those men from Terendak and some dependents as well. This is righting a 50-year wrong, and it will be in the run-up to the 50th anniversary next year of the Vietnam Veterans Day. I met with the Malaysian Minister, Deputy Minister, last week in Malaysia. He advised me of the government's very strong support to return these men. And I do want to thank Ken Foster and David Ferguson and Bob Shearing, together with the late Tim McComb, for this. And the member for Solomon has also been a significant assistance. The 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, Mr President, will be one of the most significant commemorative events in this nation over the centenary of Anzac period. Bringing home these men, righting a 50-year wrong, is a very important part of that.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Reynolds, final supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Will the Minister also inform the Senate how the government is ensuring that the service of current serving personnel is recorded appropriately for the future?
Minister.
Thank you again, Mr President, and Senator Reynolds. As the senators heard me say before, Mr President, this 4-year period is about a centenary of service and sacrifice, not just about events at Gallipoli 100 years ago. And as part of that, I today announced the opening of the recruitment process for an official historian to oversee the writing of the official history of Australia's involvement in Iraq, Afghanistan and East Timor. The government has provided $12.8 million in the recent budget to ensure that the Australian War Memorial is properly able to tell the stories of these men and women serving in our nation's name. This will tell the story of these engagements. This is an acknowledgement I thought those opposite might be remotely interested in this. This is about our contemporary veterans, and these official histories will, as we have done with all official histories, tell the story of the contribution of these young men and women to this nation.
Thank you, Minister.